Namaste, sentient beings. It is Monday, June 8th, 2015. Thanks for stopping by and tuning in. Hope all of you are doing well. Activist post Bilderberg 2015, implementation of the AI grid, which is obviously going to be talking about, at least at some point, about artificial intelligence. Bilderberg Group is a group, I'll put this link in, I'm not going to explain the whole thing, but anyway, they have to do with CFR, Council of Foreign Relations, Trilateral Commission, Bilderberg Group, Bohemian Grove, which has the Bilderberg Group and all these other facets of them. Basically, it's a certain amount of politicians and global bankers. It's just basically elitists. The simple way to say it, it's a bunch of elitists that get together and they put forth policy, which is the hybrid Illuminati, which are subordinate to the draconians, which are the people that really are the hybrids and the reptilians who really run the world. And they're both a cult. We don't see them. And it's just a very unfortunate thing that people don't catch on to this and believe it's either fear-mongering or that it's just a conspiracy. It's very unfortunate. But anyway, this link will be in the description box. So this is all the countries that are involved in it. It's hard to find a list of people. You might be able to, if you search online more. I didn't really search too much, but usually, they do list some people. Oh, cool. So they do list the people, but I didn't scroll down before. So it's all these people, and that's just the people they list, and that's what they are allowing us to know. Because if they didn't want us to know, there would be no information about it. Having said that, the plan to integrate nations into continental trading blocks is not a new idea. Dr. Carol Quigley's Tragedy and Hope reference is made that the plan of the Third Reich, which I would say is the Fourth Reich, because there's already been a Third Reich, right? Wasn't Hitler's the Third Reich, so it would be the Fourth Reich, to create global trading blocks, which in itself is an older British Royal Society plan. Daniel Stulin, in his The Bilderberg Group and Shadow Masters, 2 books by him, provides detailed investigations into both Bilderberg and its many headed Hydra organizations exemplified in Captain America 2, Winter Soldier. Founded by the Prince Bernard of the Netherlands, as well as numerous other Atlanticist elitists, like David Rockefeller, who's a hybrid or a straight-up reptilian, Paul Van Zeeland, don't know about him, and numerous other barons, which are super rich elitist people that also are bankers, corporate heads, global bankers. They say bankers, they should say global bankers, and countless other people better than us, meaning all the elites that have the true power and have most of the wealth, including gold, which is what the real wealth is in, gold and land. Bilderberg, operating under the guise of free market capitalism, represents instead the complete culmination of banked corporate world. Most people don't accept the Bilderberg Group or the Council of Foreign Relations or Trilateral Commissions or the fact that there's an elitist group running the world or a secret government. People are just happy staying in their little world, and it's unfortunate. I could talk about this for hours and hours and hours. I'm not going to. My following isn't big enough for me to talk about it for hours and hours and hours, plus no one listens to me anyway, because who am I? So my suggestion would be, rather than listening to my dumbass, search CFR, Council of Foreign Relations, Trilateral Commission, Bohemian Grove, Bilderberg Group, Draconians, Illuminati, global bankers, Federal Reserve, the Treasury Department, and if I had a big following of people who are actually, listening, I would provide a lot. I've read a lot of books and stuff. I provide a lot of links and books and stuff, and I do provide a lot of information in the description box, but it kind of seems to be for naught. I'm not complaining, I'm just making a point, and I'm not going to ramble on too much about it. So if you ever want to know more, you can always email me. My email is in the description box if you really want to know more, and so forth and so on, or if you want to build a discourse, I'm fine. I like the good, healthy discourse. That's fine as well. Bilderberg operates under the guise, as I just said, the free market capitalism represents instead the complete culmination of bank and corporate world control. Presented as yet another debate forum, the secretive meetings instead have been revealed in numerous cases to have driven global policy. That's what they do. The most shining example is 1955 Bilderberg meeting plans for the creation of the European Common Market and European Unity, shown below. It is important to recall the European Common Market came into place some 3 years ago in 1958, while the European Union itself was supposedly founded in 1993. With this in mind, we can see how the TTIP is simply a further extension of the same strategy of economic integration from the EU to NAFTA. Well, you can also look up the EU, you can also look up NAFTA, TTIP, the TTP, and the TPA as well. Those are all things you should look up and discern on your own. I put, if you look at any of my other videos, I put tons of links and hyperlinks to PDFs and stuff, so I would say search through some of my other stuff about the TPP, the TPA, and all that, and you'll find tons of links in the box. Or just Google it yourself. That's the best way to do it. But I do put it in the description box to make it easier, to make it one step easier, so you don't actually have to take the effort to actually go. You can just click on the link and go there. In other words, what the banksters planned in secret in 1955 was made public in 1993, having been implemented in gradual incremental states. Indeed, it was the post-war World War II era that created all these entities, the UN, Bretton Woods, and the IMF, another place to look up, and the World Bank. Look up the World Bank. Also look up global banks, or banksters, etc. All of these entities, including Bilderberg, are part of the same power structure that coordinated the last century's war for the sole purpose of a world government. All these wars, as they're saying, are scripted, Hegelian dialectic. You don't know what that is, look it up. Problem, reaction, solution. For the sake of brevity, it's one entity or a couple entities, power playing both sides, financing both sides to basically exterminate one another and create a boogeyman and all that. All these governments are in cahoots with one another. All of which is spelled out quickly: CFR, Council of Foreign Relations, Archive-Based Tome, or Tome, whatever, Tragedy, and Hope. Thus, while the population still thinks there's national governments are at war with the other nation states and markets economies are driving economic surplus, the reality is that most nation states are subsidiaries of the Atlanticist power bloc, whose sights are set on dismantling Russia, as Ustilin's Shadow Masters details. I wouldn't pigeon toe it or say it's just Russia. I don't believe it's just Russia. It's the United States they're looking to undermine completely and take over. That's what's going on. It's not about Russia. Russia might be the bad guy. China might be the bad guy. ISIS, ISIL, Mujahideen, Taliban, Al-Qaeda, Saddam Hussein, Muammar Gaddafi, Osama bin Laden. All these people are boogeymen that they create to have terror. It's our own government that creates terrorism. And if you do enough research on YouTube and Google, and you read and research and discern, you will find out that I'm not someone promoting fear. I'm not someone talking out of my rectum. I'm actually talking about things that I have an idea about, because it's not that I'm so smart. It's just I've read, I've researched and discerned on my own. Don't have to agree with me. I don't care about whether people agree with me or not. I put out the information to hopefully wake some people up, but I don't think it's having much effect, because as I realized in almost 50 years, I ain't anybody, I ain't nobody, and no one's surely listening to what I have to say. So that's okay. It's unfortunate, but it's okay. Not that I know a lot. That's not the point of why I say that. But I'm not going to digress. Like last year's Bilderberg meeting, the whispers are this year will discuss the implementation of the role of artificial intelligence, otherwise known as AI. 2015 has seen a tremendous push for the acceptance of automation, from the robots in the workplace to driverless cars to implantable microchips. Transhuman is now a buzzword, and we have in the alternate media community have been vindicated countless times in calling attention to the unified agenda of selling the masses on acceptance of new religious ideology. J Analysis has highlighted this takeover plan from older Pentagon documents, as well as its settling point in countless Hollywood blockbusters. This is talking about all the movies, obviously. Automation has been pushed forth, which comes first before transhumanism. I did 2 posts on transhumanism. I think they're good posts. I have no views, but I think they're good posts. Not because I did it. It has nothing to do with me. It's just the information I'm talking about is what's good. So the whole thing about automation is we've seen there have been all these railroad disasters or derailments. We've had several plane crashes, and they're always blaming a sole person who doesn't know what they're doing. It's the whole Lee Harvey Oswald, lone assassin craziness. So that whole thing, and I've done videos on all that, exposing it's a psyops, that these are staged events, which most people don't want to believe. And I also point out in my videos, if actually people listen to them, besides parsing these videos, I also explain what's going on. Parsing is just separating it, obviously, and bringing certain points about certain things they're saying, but also I go into discerning what they're talking about. The whole point of automation is to push forth this transhumanism. The reason why they're pushing forth automation is they want to get people used to computers doing things. You take the human factor out of everything. You have humans rely on computers, or something that's not human, rather, which is computers. And then this way people get accepted to that, and then once they get brainwashed into thinking this is a good thing because it's so safety and all this blah 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 blah, and you lose all your jobs, and you don't have choice about things, and then now you're going to have automated cops and all that, and all these robots, kind of like RoboCop and Terminator and all that. Other than RoboCop was a good cop, but because he still had some of his humanity in him. But that will then lead to transhumanism, where they want to have people download their consciousness into a computer binary system, and then when you die, they upload it. They upload your consciousness, and then when you die, they download it into an avatar. And this they want to do between, excuse me, I have a bit of a cold, 2025 and 2035 at the latest, and by 2045 they want to have everyone, or most people, when I say everyone I mean the sheeple, as as holographic images where you'll be a hologram, which sounds insane, right? So as insane as that sounds, because they're satanic or Satanists, meaning that most of the people that run this country, I really think it's all of them are Satanists. They do things in ritualistic ways on certain dates, at certain times. So they will have the sheeple who are left, depending on how many they decide to murder up front or whatever, after all these natural disasters occur, which are not natural, they're man-made, i.e. earthquakes, tsunamis, etc. And the false flags of dirty bombs and nuclear stuff going off. They will get the remaining people to do this. The hybrid Illuminatis, I don't believe, will be doing this. They, I think, have clones. They have cloning capabilities or technologies, whatever you want to call it. That's why they don't get sick, and a lot of times they look younger than they are, so forth and so on, and sometimes why they look different than they did 5-10 years ago. So that's just my take on it. I could be completely wrong, and not to digress too much into it, but I believe that all this automation is for the sheeple, not for them, which is why I digressed a little bit, because I just wanted to make that point. So let's see, where was I? Anyway, I'll just go here. Like last year's Bilderberg meeting, did I already say that? No, I didn't. Well, yeah, I did. Yeah, okay, cool. I did say that. This year's former DARPA, and they do a lot of stuff with 2045 Global Initiative. That's another thing to look up, which has to do with transhumanism. 2045 Initiative or 2045 Global Initiative. Both of those are the same thing. They're by Dmitry Iskov, I think is his last name. He's a mid-30-year-old billionaire who founded the company, corporation, which is about transhumanism. And that, again, is in my videos. You got to look on my page. Anyway, this year, former DARPA headed turned Google exec Regina Duggan will be speaking, vindicating J Analysis's identifying Duggan as a key player to watch. Back in 2012 and 2013, Duggan gave a talk telling the audience the future of the microchip will be an ingestible form. That's crazy, as well as a tattooed RFID tracking. Duggan's TED Talks and lectures detailed the technology side of the pyramid's plan for rolling out the smart drones, and when read in convert with the IBM CEO Jeannie Ramadi's lectures on smart cities and pre-crime. It's amazing. It sounds like a movie. Remember Minority Report, pre-crime? Smart cities, I think they're talking about the Agenda 21, where they're going to stack everybody into little homes and just make these big, mega monoliths, so to speak. Like, everyone will be living in like the Freedom Towers, except they're not going to be nice. Everyone will be crammed up on each other like ants. They basically want to make humans ants, where you're going to be in these little cubicles, and the rich are going to run around in the suburbs with the trees and the leaves and the bees and the snails and the trails and all that. They're going to live that way, not us, if we allow them to. And it looks like we're going to as a people, unfortunately. I guess the people that are lucky that won't go through it are the ones who are going to get shot when they don't go to be interned or renditioned. I guess those people will get a reprieve. Everyone else is going to suffer and learn what real enslavement's like. And then all the movies that we watch where people were enslaved, we go, oh, we wouldn't do that. I wouldn't let them do that. Well, yeah. It's kind of be ironic, isn't it? Anyway, we can see the unified plan of the technocrats, detailing hundreds of similar examples. What is most difficult to convey is the unified nature of the overall plan, from economic reform and free market shock therapy austerity to the implementation of smart grid AI takeover to the biochemical dysgenics operations, and the Atlanticist plans are unified, strategic, and full spectrum. Well, this is also going to have to go into Agenda 21 and the TPP and the TPIP and the TPA and NAFTA and the UN, all these things you could look up anyway. They cover the entire domain of human experience as well as the entire biosphere. The transition to smart cities is the ultimate goal of the green. Yep, there you go, Agenda 21 plan, as well as below is the UK, United Kingdom think tank for Forum on Future Propaganda. Video demonstrates, that's what it is, propaganda, which is brainwashing. All of this arrives on the heels of Jenner's transformation into a woman. Despite the obvious absurdity of this given idea, male and female chromosomes, as well as Ray Kurzweil's claim that by 2030 humans will be cyborgs. Well, as I said, by 2025 they want to start it. By 2035 they want to be implementing it, and by 2045 people will be holograms. But 2025 to 2035 people are going to be avatars Again, if you look at my videos or you just look up Global Initiative or Global Initiative 2045, whatever, you will find out exactly what I'm talking about. And just one little quick, I think Bruce Jenner, this whole thing is a psyop in the sense I think he was Manchurian, means I think he was brainwashed to do this, and that's why he did it. And he sold himself out to do it. But he might have just been completely brainwashed. Maybe he was completely brainwashed. I think he might have thought it, or they might have dropped a lot of hints, but maybe they completely brainwashed him into it. Who knows? Who in the hell knows, right? We don't know. Kurzweil could be wrong, right? Predicts that humans will become hybrids in 2030. That means our brains will be able to connect directly to the cloud, whatever that means, which is insane. What are we going to do? The iCloud now? Well, we're going to connect to the iCloud by our brains, where there will be thousands of computers. Insanity. And those computers will augment our existing intelligence. Well, that's insanity. That is just like the Matrix, what they were talking about. Which basically, I mean, I know you would say, well, the Matrix, you were battery and energy. Yeah, that was a metaphor. Technically, you would be anyway, because if you're hooked up to an iCloud, you'd be giving the source energy, so technically you would be a battery. But the point I'm making is that to be all hooked up to one thing, all of us mentally, is not a good thing, even though everyone thinks it is. Then I'm crazy, because in my heart, I know that ain't the good thing to be. That's not how you transcend yourself. Nevertheless, he said the brain will connect via nanobots. Nanobots, which are out, I've also talked about that. I have a blog which I talked about the PSYOP, Homo sapien PSYOP. It's a very long blog. It's like a journal blog, which means I update it. And there's a part in that where I talk about nanobots and nanotechnology. They have mosquitoes that look like mosquitoes. They're small as that, and they're a bot. And they could carry diseases. They could watch you. They have cameras. They can hear you. They can sting you and give you a disease as well. And these nanobots that they're talking about are like micro nanobots, meaning that they're going to be small, like atoms or molecules, but they can go into the pores of your skin and stuff and get into your blood system and then alter your DNA and go to your brain and all that. It's crazy all that sounds that they have that available, that technology. It's not like, oh, we're developing it. They've had that for probably 50 years or longer. But anyway, there's like tiny robots made from DNA strands. Again, tiny robots made from DNA strands. Our thinking will be a hybrid of biological and non-biological thinking. Craziness. Why would you want it to be non-biological? That means that the nanobots in you are going to make choices, or make you make choices, which you're going to think are biological and organic, but they're not, because the nanobots can be programmed from anywhere, and information can be downloaded any way to them, so they could literally make you go out and kill 50 people, and you'll think you'd be eating a hamburger at McDonald's somewhere, and you wouldn't even know it. No, it sounds crazy, right? Well, that's not crazy. That's what this statement means when they're saying that non-biological thinking. It means you're going to be able to be controlled by the nanobots that are going to be into your system, because it's going to connect with your DNA strands as well as your mind. Anyway, the bigger and more complex the cloud, the more advancing our thinking. So right there, they're trying to sell you on how wonderful it's going to be. None of these hybrid Illuminatis and reptiles, or the hybrid Illuminatis which are crossbred with reptiles, are going to be doing this. This is for the sheeple. It's not for them. By the time we get to the late 2030s or early 2040s, Kurzweil, whatever, believes our thinking will be predominantly non-biological. Right. We'll also be able to fully back up our brains. We're going to gradually merge and enhance ourselves, he said. In my view, that's the nature of human being. We transcend our limitations. Well, this is an asinine statement, because you can't transcend your limitations by having tiny robots in your brain, using nanobots, and becoming automated, and thus into whatever, transhumanism, whatever the hell that was in here. Whatever, yeah, automation being transhumanistic. That's not how you transcend yourself. You transcend yourself basically through meditation and balancing yourself and removing your ego and knowing that everything's interconnected. And if we didn't have our pineal gland stunted through all the conditioning that we go through and all the disgusting foods we ingest that are all laced with things, we'd realize that it can manifest it. But 98% of our DNA has been turned off. I wonder who turned it off, right? And that's the Draconians. It was done purposefully to keep us stupid, to keep us locked in a third dimension, a 3D static state, as I call it. Anyway, the unified plan is also outlined in one of the architect's most famous dystopian novels, Aldous Huxley's Brave New World. In his 1932 work, the future envisioned is entirely under technocratic control, where breeding is controlled by the state through cloning, sterilization, and the abolition of monogamy, property, history, tradition, and culture. Well, if you're controlled by a machine, all this will make sense to you, because then you're not organic. So why anyone who's organic would not want to be non-organic, I would argue, has deep emotional problems. But that's just me. Huxley's famous Berkeley speech outlines a strategy, the very thing Bilderberg desires to implement and even describe: mass mind control, brainwashing, and mass pharmacological neutering of the future genderless Morlock masses, which is why they're pushing also transgenderism, and males are walking around like females. There's also tons of proof about estrogen being put into the water and into foods, which is why a lot of men are kind of very feminized now. And women are being told to like smack a man if you're mad and go punch him and he ain't gonna do anything to you and you can just go kick him in the nads and it's okay. That's not okay. Physically abusing someone is not okay. And if you're a female and you do that to a male and you're slapping the hell out of him, knowing he's not going to do anything to you, by definition, what does that make you? That makes you a bully. Because you're doing something you know that someone's not going to do. Just like a bigger fat kid or a cop picks on someone they know who can't fight back or know is not going to fight back, that makes you a bully. It's not about a sexist thing. It's not gender specific. It's how you're acting. Men shouldn't be smacking women. Women shouldn't go up and smack the hell out of a man. And if you do, it's not good. You stand there and start smacking the hell out of men. How many, some men might turn around and just smack you to the ground just to get you off them or push you. I'm not saying you should beat the hell out of a woman. I'm not advocating that. I'm just saying that women shouldn't be trying to emasculate a man and taking advantage of, oh, you're not going to hit me, you're not going to hit me, and slapping the hell out of a man, which is abusive, right? I don't know why people don't see that. But anyway. Huxley referred to it as final revolution, the revolution against man himself. It is a unified plan. Very disturbing, so that's his video. An hour and 22-minute video. This is a 4-minute video. It's an 8-minute video. Anyway, the most disturbing thing is just how this is going on and that no one really cares or is doing anything about it. It's the elitists controlling the world and nothing is being done. Just keep going to our jobs, making our money, buying clothes that we want, going out and being philandering on the weekends and satiating our ego at every chance we get, dividing and conquering each other, gender roles being all thrown about, women attacking men, men beating women, cops attacking all people, people attacking cops. It's just insanity. As Charlton Heston said in Planet of the Apes, 1968, it's a madhouse. A madhouse. Namaste.